What if I told you that right now, yes, this very moment, you could decide to be confident? Not tomorrow, not someday, now. No more hesitation, no more fear. No more hiding behind the excuse, I'm just not that type of person. Sounds unrealistic, right? That's only because you've been lied to. You see, most people think confidence is some kind of magical gift. Like you either got lucky at birth or you're just doomed to live without it forever. But let's clear the air, that is not true. Confidence isn't some mystical trait handed out to a chosen few. It's not found. It's built. It's a decision, a muscle, a skill. And just like any muscle, the only way to make it stronger is to start using it. Think about the most confident people you know. Were they born that way? Were they handed a manual on how to walk into a room and own it? Of course not. They learned it, step by step, day by day. They taught themselves to stop fearing judgment, to stop second-guessing every move, to start trusting their own voice even when it shook. Confidence didn't come to them, they created it. Now let's talk about you. Maybe you've spent your whole life overthinking, playing it safe, stuck in your head. Maybe you've told yourself 100 times, I'm not ready. Maybe you hold back because deep down you're afraid of failure, afraid of rejection, afraid of what other people might say. And you know what? That fear is normal. But confidence? It's not the absence of fear. It's acting anyway. It's feeling the fear and doing it regardless. So I want you to ask yourself, what's really stopping me? Is it the fear of messing up? The fear of looking stupid? The fear that I'm just not good enough? Be honest with yourself, because here's the truth, and it might sting a little, all of that. It's a lie, a false story, a narrative you've been replaying in your mind for far too long. But today is the day we rewrite that story. Starting now, we're throwing out the old script, the one that told you to stay small, to stay silent, to blend in. That version of you? It's outdated. It served its purpose. But it's time to move forward. Because by the end of this journey, you won't just wish for confidence. You won't just talk about it, you'll have it. Remember this, confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you build. And right now, you're building it. One bold step at a time, one choice at a time. This is your story, and you get to decide how it's written. Welcome to Book Navigator. Let's create the strongest, most confident version of you, together. Chapter 1. The Silent Killer of Dreams. What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and the life you want is invisible? Not some external obstacle, not a lack of resources or time, but something much more dangerous because it lives inside your own mind. It's that quiet, persistent voice that whispers when you're alone. You're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not worthy. You know the voice. We all do. It's called self-doubt, and it is the silent killer of dreams. Think about it. How many times have you held yourself back? Not because someone else told you no, but because you did. You had something to say in that meeting, but stayed quiet. You dreamed of starting a business, but told yourself you weren't ready. You wanted to walk up and start that conversation, but assumed you'd be rejected before you even opened your mouth. That's not bad luck. That's self-doubt in action. Here's the brutal truth. Self-doubt doesn't just stop you from winning, it stops you from even trying, and the more you listen to it, the louder it gets. It grows like a parasite, feeding on your hesitation, growing stronger every time you stay silent, every time you say, maybe later, every time you choose comfort over growth. It's a mental loop, and unless you break it, it'll play on repeat for the rest of your life. But listen closely. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's not a gift, it's a skill, a muscle. You don't wake up one day with unshakable belief in yourself. You build it brick by brick, failure by failure, step by painful step. Confidence is earned through action, through trying, failing, getting back up and doing it again. That's how it's made. That's how it lasts. Most people don't know this. They look at someone who speaks effortlessly, moves boldly, shines in every room, and they assume, oh, they were just born that way. Nope. That's the biggest lie ever told. That confident person you admire, they were once insecure, anxious, scared. The difference is, they made a choice. They stopped feeding their self-doubt and started feeding their courage. Let's test that right now. Picture yourself standing on a stage in front of 1,000 people. Your palms sweat. Your heart pounds. Your stomach flips. You call it fear. But guess what? That same feeling could just as easily be excitement. The only difference is what you tell yourself it is. Because fear and excitement, they feel exactly the same in your body. One holds you back, the other lifts you up. Same energy, completely different result. And here's the best part. This shift doesn't take years of therapy or some life-changing moment. It starts now. The next time you feel nervous, don't say, "I'm scared." Say, "I'm excited." Say it out loud. Say it with belief. And then watch what happens. This isn't motivational fluff, it's backed by science. Top athletes, performers, CEOs, they all use this. They don't eliminate fear, they reprogram it. Now maybe you're still thinking, but what if I try and fail? Let me flip that for you. What if you never try at all? What if 5 years from now you're in the same place with the same regrets, haunted by the same what-ifs that kept you small? If that doesn't scare you more than failure itself, then you're not thinking big enough, and this is just the beginning. Because in the next chapter, we're going to shatter the biggest lie about confidence that's been holding you back your entire life. Stay with me. This journey is about to change everything. Chapter 2. The Confidence Myth. Have you ever looked at someone and thought, wow, they've got so much confidence? I wish I could be like that. Maybe you watch them speak effortlessly, walk into a room like they owned it, or take bold action without blinking, and assume they were just born that way. Like they popped out of the womb already knowing how to lead, how to shine, how to be the one everyone notices. But let's be real for a second. Do you honestly think a baby is born thinking, I am an alpha male, I am a boss, watch me dominate the playground? Of course not. Babies cry, stumble, fall, and make a mess. Confidence is not genetic. It's not something you're either blessed with or cursed to live without. It's not built into your DNA. Confidence is created, built, forged in the fire of real-life experience. And here's where most people get it wrong. They think confidence has to come first, that you have to feel ready before you speak up, before you chase your goals, before you step out and take the leap. But that's the myth. That's the trap. The truth? Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after. It's the result, not the requirement. You don't wait until you feel confident to take a risk. You take the risk, and that's what builds confidence. Think back. Remember the first time you learned how to ride a bike? You weren't confident, you were terrified. Your knees were shaking, your heart was pounding, and your brain was screaming, this is a terrible idea. But you got on anyway. And yeah, maybe you fell. Maybe you scraped your knee. Maybe you cried. But you kept going. And eventually, something amazing happened. You didn't just hope you could ride a bike, you knew you could. Why? Because you gave yourself the proof. That's what confidence is. Not magic, not mystery. Just proof to yourself that you can survive, grow, and succeed. But here's where it gets tricky. Most people never give themselves that chance. They wait. They say, I'll speak up when I feel more confident. I'll start the business when I'm more prepared. I'll put myself out there when I have more experience. But that day it never comes. Because confidence isn't a light switch that suddenly flips on one day. It's built through repetition, through failure, through doing the thing, even when every part of you feels unready. Let's be honest. What's the worst that could actually happen? You might mess up. You might embarrass yourself. Newsflash. Nobody cares, really. You ever had an awkward moment and felt like the whole world was watching you? Here's the truth. They weren't. Everyone is way too busy worrying about themselves. If you truly understood how little people think about you, you'd stop holding back immediately. So here's the deal. You don't need to feel confident. You need to act confident. Because confidence doesn't require perfection. It requires courage. And courage isn't about being fearless. It's about moving forward even when you're scared. It's about making a move before your brain has time to talk you out of it. So what's one thing you've been waiting to feel ready for? That email you've been scared to send? That call you've been putting off? That idea you keep doubting yourself over? Do it. Right now. Before the fear creeps back in. Because every moment you hesitate, self-doubt grows stronger. And every action you take, no matter how small, is a step toward the confident version of you that already exists, waiting to be uncovered. And in the next chapter, we're going to confront the biggest confidence destroyer, the hidden enemy that's been keeping you stuck in self-doubt without you even realizing it. Stay tuned. This is where it gets real. Chapter 3, The Confidence Killer. You want to know the real reason most people struggle with confidence? It's not because they're not good enough. It's not because they lack the talent, the looks, or the skills. No, the truth runs deeper than that. Most people struggle with confidence because they're addicted to approval. Let's be honest with ourselves. How many times have you changed what you were going to say just because you worried what others might think? How often do you overanalyze a text message, rewriting it 10 times before hitting send? Or hesitate to post something online, terrified it might not get enough likes, shares, or claps? Yeah, we all do it. It's baked into us. Evolution hardwired us that way. Back in the caveman days, being accepted by the tribe meant survival. If the group rejected you, that could literally mean death. But guess what? This isn't the Stone Age anymore. No one's going to exile you for misspeaking in a meeting or making a typo in a post. Yet here we are, living like we're still trying to survive the tribe, and that's where it gets dangerous. When your confidence depends on the approval of others, you become trapped. Because no matter how much praise, validation, or applause you get, it's never enough. You'll always need another hit, and the moment you don't get it, you crumble. That's why some of the world's most successful people are also the most insecure. On the outside, they look bulletproof, but on the inside, they're desperately chasing likes, validation, status, constantly measuring their worth by how others respond. But here's the secret they'll never tell you. Confidence can't be outsourced. The only way out of this approval addiction is to stop measuring your value by other people's opinions. You have to flip the script. From this moment on, don't ask, do they approve of me? Ask, do I respect myself right now? That's the real metric. Confidence isn't about being liked. It's about being unshakable even when you're not. It's about standing your ground when people misunderstand you, judge you, or just plain don't get it. Think about the most charismatic, magnetic, powerful people you admire. Are they trying to win over everyone in the room? No, they don't chase approval. They own who they are. And because they're unapologetically themselves, people can't help but respect them. And here's the wild paradox. The moment you stop caring about what everyone thinks, you actually become more confident, more magnetic, more powerful. You stop shrinking. You stop second-guessing. You start speaking with clarity and moving with purpose because you're no longer performing. You're being you. So here's your challenge. Stop hesitating. Stop holding back just because someone might not like it. Instead, ask yourself one simple question. If no one's opinion mattered, what would I do? And then, go do it. That's how confidence is built. Not by pleasing the crowd, but by honoring yourself. Because let's face it, people's opinions, they're temporary. They fade, they shift, they're forgotten. But your regrets? Those have a nasty way of sticking around. Don't let fear of judgment cost you a life of fulfillment. And in the next chapter, we're going to go deeper into the science of confidence. How to rewire your brain for courage, clarity, and conviction so that fear no longer has control over you, ever again. Chapter 4, Rewiring Your Brain for Confidence. What if I told you that confidence isn't really about what you do? It's about how you think. Your brain is like a supercomputer. But right now, it's probably running on outdated software, old mental scripts you didn't even choose. Scripts that whisper, "You're not good enough. What if you fail? Who are you to do that?" These mental loops didn't come out of nowhere. They were installed over years of fear, rejection, criticism, and hesitation. And if you don't rewrite that code, you'll keep reliving the same story, doubting yourself, holding back, and overthinking every step. Let's break this down in a way that really sticks. Every time you think, "I can't do this," or "I always mess up," you're strengthening a neural pathway in your brain. It's like walking the same trail through a forest. Every time you take that path, it gets more worn in, more automatic. Soon your brain doesn't even question it. It just follows the path you've carved without thinking. But here's the game changer. You can carve a new path. Just like bad mental habits are built, new confidence-boosting ones can be built too. Right now, I want you to think about something you've always wanted to do, but never had the guts to try. Maybe it's public speaking, launching a business, or simply standing up for yourself. Now stop picturing the failure. Start visualizing the win. Not just once. Do it daily. See yourself crushing it. Feel it. Smell the air. Hear the applause. Experience the success in vivid detail. Sounds cheesy? Well, guess what? This is exactly how Olympic athletes train. They visualize their performance so vividly and consistently that by the time they hit the real moment, their brain treats it like muscle memory. Because to your brain, imagined experience and real experience trigger the same pathways. Now let's talk language, because words are powerful. Most people destroy their confidence with the way they talk about themselves. Ever said, "I'm just not good at that," or "I'm too shy," or "I always screw things up"? These aren't just casual comments. They're commands to your subconscious. And your brain? It listens, repeats, reinforces, then acts accordingly. But you can flip that script too. Instead of saying, "I suck at this," say, "I'm getting better every time." Instead of "I'm too anxious," say, "I'm learning to handle pressure." Even if it feels like a lie at first, say it anyway. Because over time your brain will catch up. It's not magic, it's neuroscience. And here's the real secret. Confidence isn't the absence of fear, it's the override button. Your brain is always going to urge you to play it safe. It's built for survival, not success. But you're not here to survive, you're here to rise. And when fear says you can't, that's your cue to say, "Watch me." And no, this isn't just positive thinking fluff, this is brain science. Change the way you think and you change the way you act. And when your actions change, your results change, and that's when life starts to open up in ways you never imagined. So if you're ready to start rewiring your brain for unstoppable confidence, now is the time. Because in the next chapter, we're diving into the biggest mindset shift of all. The one belief that can either shatter your self-doubt or solidify your greatness forever. Chapter 5. The one belief that changes everything. If you had to choose between two beliefs, "I can change" or "I'm stuck the way I am," which one do you think leads to confidence? Sounds obvious, right? But here's the catch. Most people live as if they chose the second one. They walk through life acting like their personality, their intelligence, their talents are permanently stamped at birth. That belief? It's not just limiting, it's deadly. It kills potential. It kills growth. And it absolutely destroys confidence. There's a powerful psychological concept that explains this perfectly. The fixed mindset versus the growth mindset. This idea alone separates the people who rise from the people who stay stuck. Let me break it down. If you've got a fixed mindset, you believe you're either good at something or you're not. You think talent is everything. So when you fail, it's not just a mistake, it feels like a verdict. I wasn't meant for this. I guess I'm just not cut out for it. And when things get hard, you see it as proof that you're reaching your limits. But a growth mindset? That flips everything. A growth mindset says, "I may not be there yet, but I can get there." Failure doesn't mean you're not enough, it just means you're still learning. Struggle isn't a sign you're weak. It's a sign you're leveling up. Think about this. Every confident, capable person you admire was once insecure and unsure. Every expert you look up to was once a total beginner. They didn't get where they are because they were born special. They got there because they kept going. They treated every failure as feedback. They saw every setback as a stepping stone. And that mindset, it made them unstoppable. Here's where it gets real. If you don't adopt this mindset, you'll stay stuck. It's that simple. Because every time you fail, you'll take it personally. Every challenge will feel like a reason to quit, and the worst part? You'll avoid taking risks altogether. Because you're terrified of finding out you're not good enough. But here's the truth. Confidence has nothing to do with being naturally talented. It has everything to do with believing that you can grow. That one belief, it changes everything. It changes how you see mistakes. It changes how you handle rejection. It changes how you show up in your life. And it gives you the freedom to try, to learn, to fail forward, without being crushed by fear or self-doubt. Because when you believe you can grow, nothing can stop you. Not failure, not judgment, not fear. Because every moment becomes a chance to get better. And in the next chapter, we're going to dive into the single most powerful daily habit that can lock this mindset into place and make confidence a permanent part of who you are. Chapter 6. The confidence-boosting habit. Let's be honest, most so-called confidence hacks are just noise. They sound good, maybe even feel good for a moment, but if you're not putting them into daily practice, they don't change a thing. So here's the real question. What's one simple habit you could do every day that would build unshakable confidence over time? No, it's not repeating affirmations in the mirror. It's not faking it till you make it. It's this. Keep the promises you make to yourself. It sounds simple, maybe even obvious, but it's powerful. Think about it. Every time you say you'll do something and then you don't, you quietly chip away at your self-respect. You tell yourself you'll wake up early, but you hit snooze. You commit to going to the gym, but you skip it. You say you'll speak up, but you stay silent, and maybe nobody else notices. But you do. Your brain does. Your subconscious is keeping score. Every broken promise becomes proof that you can't count on yourself. And that is the fastest way to kill confidence. Because how can you believe in yourself when you keep letting yourself down? Now flip that. What happens when you do follow through, even on the small stuff? You start sending a new signal to your brain. I show up. I finish what I start. I can trust myself. And that trust? That's the foundation of real, lasting confidence. Confidence isn't about pretending to be perfect. It's about proving to yourself, day by day, that you're someone who takes action, someone who honors their word, someone who follows through. And once you start stacking up those wins, even tiny ones, your entire identity begins to shift. So here's how you start. Small. Don't try to overhaul your whole life overnight. That's not sustainable. Start with one tiny, clear promise. If you say you're going to drink a glass of water in the morning, do it. If you commit to a 5-minute walk, do it. Doesn't matter how small it is. What matters is that you follow through. Because every promise you keep is a deposit in your confidence bank. And over time, those little deposits compound. They become unstoppable belief. Confidence stops being something you chase, it becomes who you are. And in the next chapter, we're going to take it a step further. We'll talk about how to silence self-doubt the moment it creeps in, so it never has the power to hold you back again. Chapter 7. Killing self-doubt before it kills your confidence. Have you ever felt a sudden surge of motivation, like you're finally ready to take action, and then it hits you? That quiet, persistent voice in your head. What if you fail? What if people laugh? What if you're just not good enough? That voice? That's self-doubt. And if you don't learn how to shut it down, it will kill your confidence before it ever has a chance to grow. But here's the truth most people don't realize. Self-doubt isn't reality. It's a habit. It's just an old mental program replaying over and over in your mind. Maybe it started when you were a kid. Someone told you you weren't smart enough, strong enough, or talented enough. Maybe you failed once, just once, and your brain decided, let's never do that again. But just because your brain repeats something doesn't make it true. Self-doubt is like a broken record playing a song that no longer fits your life. So how do you break the cycle? You challenge it. The next time that voice shows up, do this. Ask for proof. If your mind says you're going to fail, stop and ask, really? Based on what? Has it happened before? And even if it has, did it destroy you or did you survive? Did you learn something? Did you grow? Most of the time you'll realize your fears are built on nothing but assumptions and old stories. And when you call self-doubt out, it starts to lose its grip. But here's a little secret most people miss. Self-doubt isn't your enemy. It's actually a signal, a sign that you're about to do something bold, something meaningful, something that stretches you. And yeah, it's uncomfortable. But that discomfort is a green light, not a red one. Because nothing great ever happens inside your comfort zone. Every confident person you admire, every leader, creator, entrepreneur, they've all battled self-doubt. The difference is, they acted anyway. So here's your challenge. The next time self-doubt shows up, and it will, don't argue with it. Don't try to shut it down. Instead, smile. Laugh at it. Treat it like an outdated app glitching out on your phone. Then do the exact thing it's trying to stop you from doing. Speak up. Start the thing. Take the shot. Because once you realize self-doubt has no real power over you, it never will again. And in the next chapter, we're going to unpack a major mistake that keeps people stuck, waiting to feel confident before they act, and what to do instead that actually works. Chapter 8. Confidence comes from action, not feeling. Let's clear up one of the biggest misconceptions about confidence, because most people get this completely backward. They believe confidence is something you feel before you do something big, that you wait until you're ready, until the fear is gone, until you're sure you won't fail. But let's be honest, how long have you been waiting? The truth is simple. Confidence doesn't come first. Action does. You don't feel confident and then act. You act, and that's what builds the confidence. Think about the first time you rode a bike. You were probably nervous, maybe even terrified. But did you wait until you felt ready? No, you got on anyway. You wobbled. You might have fallen. You scraped a knee. But eventually, step by shaky step, you figured it out. You didn't become confident and then ride the bike. You became confident because you rode the bike. It's exactly the same in every part of life. Speaking in public, launching a business, going to the gym for the first time. The early attempts, they're messy. You doubt yourself. You question if you belong. But here's the truth. The only way to stop feeling like an imposter is to keep showing up until your actions prove otherwise. So here's the shift. Stop waiting. Stop waiting for the perfect mood, the ideal mindset, the right timing. There is no magical moment where the fear disappears and the green light flashes. You don't need to be fearless, you just need to be brave enough to act despite the fear. Do it scared. Do it unprepared. Do it imperfectly. Because confidence isn't something you sit around and wait for. It's something you earn by showing up and doing the hard things again and again. And when you start acting before you feel ready, something powerful happens. Your brain catches up. Your identity shifts. And confidence stops being a wish, it becomes who you are. In the next chapter, we're going to uncover the biggest hidden confidence killer, the one that quietly holds you back, and how to break free from it once and for all. Chapter 9. Stop comparing, start winning. Picture this. You're scrolling through social media and there it is. That person who seems to have it all. The confidence, the success, the perfect life. And just like that, you feel yourself shrinking. Suddenly you start thinking, why don't I have what they have? Why am I not there yet? What's wrong with me? Sound familiar? Because comparison is one of the fastest ways to destroy your confidence. Here's why. It pulls your attention away from what you do have and it zeroes in on everything you think you lack. It's a mental trap, and worse, it's built on a lie. You're comparing your behind-the-scenes mess to someone else's carefully curated highlight reel. You see their wins, not the work it took. You see the confidence, not the struggle. You see the filtered photo, not the unfiltered truth. And when you hold yourself to that impossible airbrushed standard, no wonder you feel like you're not enough. But what if you flipped the script? What if, instead of comparing yourself to them, you compared yourself to you? Not the you from 5 years ago, the you from yesterday. That's the only competition that really matters. Are you a little stronger than last month? A little more focused than last week? A little more confident than last time? If the answer is yes, even just by 1%, you're winning. And here's a challenge for the next time comparison creeps in. Pause, take a breath, and ask yourself, what can I learn from this person instead of resenting them? See them as a possibility, not a threat. Let their success show you what's achievable, not what you're missing. Because confidence doesn't come from being better than others. It comes from being better than you used to be. Growth over ego, progress over perfection, self-mastery over self-comparison. And in the next chapter, we're going to unlock a powerful tool that most people overlook, your body language, and how small physical shifts can instantly boost how confident you feel. Chapter 10. Your body speaks louder than your words. Picture this. You walk into a room with your shoulders hunched, eyes down, arms crossed tight across your chest. What kind of message are you sending? Whether you realize it or not, people are likely to assume you're unsure of yourself, maybe even insecure. Now flip that image. You walk in with your head high, shoulders relaxed but back, and your body open and steady. You haven't said a word, but instantly you appear confident. And here's the wild part. Your brain believes your body. It's not just a psychological trick, it's biology. Science tells us that your posture, your facial expressions, even how you breathe can literally influence your brain chemistry. This powerful connection between your body and your mind is called embodied cognition. It means your body and mind are always in a two-way conversation. When you physically behave in a confident way, your brain starts to believe it's real. That's not theory. That's proven neuroscience. Think about how your body reacts when you're nervous. Your heart starts pounding, your palms sweat, and you instinctively shrink inward. Your body is telling your brain, I'm under threat. But now think of when you feel powerful. You naturally expand. You breathe deeper, you stand taller, you take up more space. That posture sends a completely different message to your brain. I'm safe, I'm strong, I've got this. Let's test this out right now. Wherever you are, sit up straight, roll your shoulders back, take a long, slow breath in, and smile. Yes, even if you don't feel like it. Why? Because when you do that, your brain releases feel-good chemicals like dopamine and serotonin, which shift your mood and help you feel more grounded and in control. Now here's a power move used by elite performers around the world. Power poses. Think superhero stance, feet apart, hands on hips, chin slightly lifted. Researchers found that holding a power pose for just 2 minutes can increase testosterone, which boosts confidence, and lower cortisol, which reduces stress. Sound simple? It is. Sound silly? Maybe. But it works. So the next time you're about to step into a high-pressure moment, an interview, a presentation, a first date, step aside, breathe, and strike that power pose. Own the space before you even enter the room. Here's something else most people overlook: eye contact. Eye contact is confidence in action. When you look someone in the eyes just a beat longer than usual, you signal certainty and strength. And if that feels awkward at first, here's a tip. Look at the bridge of their nose. They won't know the difference, but you'll appear more confident, and in time you'll feel it too. The bottom line? Your body is your secret weapon. Even when your thoughts are shaky or your emotions are running wild, your body can lead the way. It can be the first step toward rewiring your confidence from the outside in. And in the next chapter, we'll explore the most important relationship you'll ever have, the one with your inner voice. Because mastering that voice is the final step to building unshakable, bulletproof confidence. Chapter 11. Rewiring your inner voice. Let me ask you something. If you spoke to your friends the way you speak to yourself, would they stick around? Probably not. Because let's be honest, the way we talk to ourselves is brutal. You mess up one thing and suddenly your mind goes, "You're not good enough." Or, "You always screw things up." Or worst of all, why even try? And the real kicker, we don't just hear it, we believe it. But here's the truth you need to hold on to. Your inner voice is not the truth, it's a habit. And like any habit, it can be changed, retrained, and completely rewritten. See? Your brain has been programmed over time to replay certain messages, most of which aren't even yours. Maybe you grew up around people who doubted you, criticized you, or made you feel small. Maybe you had a few tough failures and your brain started equating mistakes with "I'm not capable." But those thoughts, they're just old recordings. They feel automatic, but they're not facts. They're not who you really are. So how do you break the loop? You start by talking to yourself like you would someone you respect, like someone you actually want to succeed. When you catch yourself saying, "I always mess things up," stop. Interrupt that pattern, reframe it. Say instead, "I'm still learning and every mistake is making me better." When you hear "I'm not good enough," replace it with "I'm improving every single day." It might feel cheesy at first. It might feel fake. But repetition changes your wiring. The more you repeat these new messages, the more your brain accepts them as truth. You're not lying to yourself. You're choosing to build a new truth. Here's a fun little trick. Give your inner critic a name. Seriously, personify that negative voice. Call it something ridiculous like Doubtful Dave or Negative Nancy. So the next time you hear that voice saying, "You're going to fail," you can smirk and say, "Oh, look, Dave's back with his nonsense." That little bit of distance makes a huge difference. It takes away the critic's power and puts you back in control. And remember, your brain listens closely to what you tell it, over and over again. Feed it doubt and doubt grows. Feed it belief, even the tiniest seed of belief, and confidence will start to take root. The magic happens with repetition, consistency, and compassion for yourself. And in the next chapter, we're going to go even deeper. Because building confidence isn't just about how you speak to yourself. It's also about what you're feeding your mind every single day. That's where real transformation begins. Chapter 12. Guarding your mental diet. Let me ask you a simple question. Would you ever eat poison and expect to feel healthy? Of course not. So why do we feed our minds a steady diet of negativity, and then wonder why we don't feel confident? Every single day your brain is absorbing the world around you, social media, news, conversations, entertainment. And let's be honest, most of it, it's junk. Toxic junk. The world is constantly whispering reasons for you to doubt yourself. You scroll through social media and see picture-perfect lives, flawless bodies, endless success, and suddenly your own life feels inadequate. You watch fear-filled headlines and feel powerless. You spend time with people who complain, criticize, and suck the energy right out of you, and then you wonder why confidence feels so out of reach. But here's the truth you need to hear. Your confidence is only as strong as the information you feed it. If you constantly consume fear, doubt, and comparison, your mind will mirror it back to you. But if you shift your inputs, if you start feeding your brain inspiration, knowledge, and empowerment, then confidence becomes not just possible, but inevitable. Start with a mental audit. Take a good, honest look at what you're allowing into your mind. What kind of content fills your social media feed? Are you following people who inspire you, or people who subtly make you feel like you're not enough? What kind of conversations dominate your daily life? Do they challenge you to grow or convince you to settle? Now here's the game changer. Control your inputs. Unfollow the negativity. Unsubscribe from the noise. Step back from the fear-driven content and the energy vampires in your life. And then, replace them. Start surrounding yourself with fuel. Read books that challenge you. Listen to podcasts that expand your thinking. Play music that lifts your mood. Have conversations with people who see the greatness in you, even when you don't see it in yourself. Try this for just 1 week, a mental detox. Be intentional about what you consume. Choose content that builds you up, not breaks you down. Choose silence over noise. Choose depth over distraction. And at the end of that week, take note of how you feel. Lighter, more focused, more confident. That's not an accident, that's the power of your mental diet. Because what you feed your mind shapes your beliefs, your emotions, your identity, and ultimately your confidence. And in the next chapter, we're taking this even deeper. Because your environment isn't just about what you consume, it's about who you surround yourself with. And trust me, nothing will impact your confidence more than the people you allow into your space. Chapter 13. Who you surround yourself with. You've probably heard the saying, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. It's not just a catchy quote, it's a brutal truth. The people around you either fuel your confidence and or quietly drain it away piece by piece. Let's break this down. If you're constantly surrounded by people who doubt themselves, who complain about everything, who play the victim in every situation, what do you think happens to you? You start absorbing that mindset. It's like secondhand smoke. You might not be the one lighting the cigarette, but you're still breathing in the toxins. Now flip that scenario. Imagine spending your time with people who challenge themselves, who take risks, who chase growth, who speak about possibilities instead of limitations. Even if you walk in full of doubt, their energy is contagious. Suddenly you start thinking differently. Bigger, bolder. You feel inspired to act, to rise, to believe in yourself on a whole new level. So here's the million-dollar question. Who's in your circle right now? Are they lifting you up or quietly pulling you down? Do you feel energized after being around them or emotionally drained? Are they helping you evolve or keeping you stuck in old patterns? If your answer makes you uncomfortable, good. That discomfort is your signal. It doesn't mean you have to cut people off cold, but it does mean you need to set boundaries. Spend less time with the people who limit your thinking and more time with those who stretch it. And hey, if you don't have those empowering voices in your life yet, don't wait. Create your own circle. Read books by people who think big. Listen to podcasts that light a fire in you. Join online communities that align with your goals. Your tribe doesn't have to be in your zip code. It can be anywhere as long as it uplifts you. Because here's the truth that changes everything. Confidence is contagious. When you surround yourself with people who believe in themselves, it rubs off on you. Their energy becomes your environment. And suddenly, believing in yourself starts to feel normal. In the next chapter, we're going to take it a step further. Because confidence isn't just shaped by who you're around. It's forged in how you deal with failure. And once you learn how to turn failure into fuel, nothing can stop you. Chapter 14. The Fear of Failure. What if you stopped seeing failure as something to fear and started seeing it as your biggest advantage? Yeah, let that sink in. Because here's the truth. Every confident person you admire, every success story you've ever looked up to, they've all failed. Not just once, not twice, many times. The only difference? They didn't let failure define them. Think about it like this. When a baby learns to walk, they fall, over and over again. But they don't just sit there on the floor, throw in the towel and say, "Well, I guess walking isn't for me." No way. They get up, try again, fall again, and eventually, they walk. And not just walk. They run. But somewhere along the way, as we grow up, we start treating failure like it's the end of the world. Like it means we're not good enough. That belief? It's a lie. Failure isn't a sign that you can't do something, it's evidence that you're doing the work. That you're in the middle of becoming stronger, sharper, better. Here's what most people don't realize. Confidence doesn't come from never failing. It comes from knowing, deep down, that you can handle it when you do. The most unstoppable, confident people out there, they're not fearless. They just refuse to let fear stop them. They try, they fall, they learn, they tweak, and then they go again. That right there, that's the real superpower. So the next time something doesn't go your way, don't spiral. Don't ask, "Why me?" Ask instead, "What can I learn from this?" Because every time you move through failure instead of running from it, you train yourself to be resilient. You prove that you're still in the game, still growing, still climbing. Failure doesn't mean you're off track. It often means you're right where you're supposed to be. And in the next chapter, we're going to flip fear on its head even more. Because the secret to true confidence? It's not about avoiding fear. It's about learning how to use it. Chapter 15, Using Fear as Fuel. What if I told you that fear isn't your enemy? A pounding heart, those sweaty palms, that twist in your stomach, it's not a signal to stop. It's a sign you're alive. It means you're stepping into something bigger than yourself, something meaningful. And that's where growth lives. Most people have this idea that confidence means not feeling fear, but that's just not true. Real confidence is feeling fear and taking action anyway. Think about it. Every breakthrough moment in your life, every one of those firsts, had fear right beside it. Your first speech, your first big risk, your first step outside your comfort zone. Fear was there, but so was growth, courage, and change. Now here's a secret most people don't know. Fear and excitement, they feel almost exactly the same in your body. Your heart races, your breath quickens, your stomach flips. The only difference, Ian, is the story you tell yourself about it. If you say, "I'm nervous, I can't do this," fear takes the wheel. But if you say, "I'm excited, this is an opportunity," fear becomes fuel. Try this the next time fear shows up. Flip the script. Don't say, "I'm scared." Say, "I'm excited." And watch how your body responds. Your brain starts believing it, your energy shifts. Suddenly, fear becomes momentum. And if that mental shift doesn't work right away, that's okay. Do it anyway. Take the step. Say the words. Show up. Because confidence isn't something you wait around for. It's something you build, one action at a time. The more you move through fear, the less power it has over you. And the more powerful you become. Here's the truth no one tells you. Fear isn't going anywhere, it'll always be part of the journey. But your ability to handle it, to use it instead of run from it, that's what makes you unstoppable. Conclusion. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Day by day, choice by choice, thought by thought. Every action you take is either strengthening your confidence or slowly chipping away at it. But now you know the truth. It's not about waiting until you feel ready. It's not about dodging failure or silencing fear. It's about becoming the version of you that refuses to stay small. The version that says, "Even if I'm scared, I'm still moving forward." So here's the real question. Are you ready to step up because the world isn't waiting? Opportunities aren't waiting. And your potential? It's tired of being put on hold. Every day you stay stuck in self-doubt is another day you delay the life you were meant to live. And deep down you already know, you're capable of so much more. Right now in this exact moment you have a choice to make. You can shrink back into comfort. Keep hesitating, keep waiting for that perfect moment that never comes, or you can decide. Decide that you're done playing small. Done letting fear call the shots. Done holding back the powerful, confident version of you that's been buried under doubt for far too long. So, what's it going to be? If you're ready to own your confidence, unlock your potential, and start showing up as your highest self, don't stop here. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep learning. And if you ever need more inspiration, mindset tools, or motivation, we've got your back. Check out our other videos on success, mindset, and personal growth right here on Book Navigator. This is just the beginning. Hit that next video, and let's keep building the best version of you.